It's a nice day out, but it is starting to get a little bit colder. There's like some clouds in the sky. You know what that means?
It's time for fall.
It's time for fall, but it's time for some soup. I feel like making soup, maybe like a French onion soup. What do you think this clock means? Looks like it's always at midnight.
I don't know, I'm taking pictures of balloons.
I'm more worried about the clock. All right, so back to the soup. You have the onions, want a good quality onion. You have the beef broth, maybe some herbs, some cracked pepper, or even just peppercorns, just like in one of those little bags. I don't even know what they call it. That's pretty much all that goes into the actual soup. And then when you finish it, you just put it in bowls, put some like nice kind of crusty bread on it, top it with cheese, and then pop it in the oven. So it's pretty simple. So yeah, let's get going. Let's get into the kitchen. So you need lots and lots of onions because they're gonna cook down, and if you only use a couple, you'll be left with no onion. This is so much onion. If you're someone who does not like onion, this is like so not the soup for you. But if you do like onion, I think the hardest part of this soup is all the cutting of the onions, honestly. So if you're good with cutting onions, good with your knife skills, I mean, the soup's not really that hard. The other portion of this, I think, is like, you don't want to slice the onion too small because you're going to really cook the onion down. Slice the onion too small, like you will literally end up with like nothing. Like you'll end up with a paste by the time you're done reducing it. We have our onion. Decent sized pot. Cool. Use some butter, and then I think I'm also gonna use a little bit of oil, and just like a low heat, as low as you can make it go. You're gonna reduce these onions like literally for hours. Basically, stick of butter, maybe 2 tablespoons. Everything is melted, but there's like literally no signs of it like bubbling or doing anything crazy. It's just on a low heat. Let's go ahead and start adding in the onion at this point. It looks like a lot of onion, and it is a lot of onion. As it cooks down, it's gonna get smaller and smaller and smaller. So literally, once you're done at the end of this, you'll be left with like a quarter of this pot worth of onion. You wanna let this cook down on like literally the lowest heat possible, for maybe 4-5 hours or so. But it's really key, I think, to getting this soup like really, really rich and really, really flavorful. This is already starting to smell so good. And look how far the onions have already gone down. I've only been cooking for, I don't know, 10 minutes I've been cooking them, and they've already gone considerably down. I mean, they used to be like way over. Just making sure I didn't forget anything. It's like we have everything we need. A tablespoon or so of salt. Already cooking down, and it's only been like an hour and a half, if that. Probably less than that. All right, so here is the progress. I guess we've been at this for about 5 hours now, and so you can really see it. A lot of color. It's reduced by like literally a quarter. I mean, if you remember, this was mounding with onion. And now we're just pretty much all that's left. Have some fresh thyme from the deck, so we'll grab some of this. All right, so we have some peppercorns, some fresh thyme from the garden, and basically just put it into this cheesecloth, and then I'll tie it up with the cooking string, and then I'll literally drop it into the soup. And it'll add flavor. And then what's nice about this is you can literally just take all of this out. You won't be fishing out little peppercorns, or even worse, eating the soup and then getting peppercorns in a bite. That's not real. So we'll turn the heat up a little bit, not too much, just a little. And what we're gonna do is add about a teaspoon, you eyeball it, or just a teaspoon of flour to this. And basically that will thicken the soup just a little bit. You don't want this soup overly thick. It's not really a thick soup, but so we'll cook that for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Can you smell that? It smells so good. So sweet and like oniony, but like not that overpowering oniony, just like really soft, sweet. It's so worth it to like cook these down all day than to like just do it really quick in like an hour. Like this makes all the difference right here. All right, now that we've cooked the flour down, let's go ahead and add some of our beef broth. Last thing I'll do is I'll add in our, I think they call it a bouquet garni. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the heat to high until I kind of see that it's starting to simmer. And then we'll let this simmer for like about an hour, another hour or so. All right. It's been a long day, but I think that this is about done. So we'll go ahead and remove the bouquet garni because we don't really need it anymore. It's done its job. So we'll go ahead and finish it with a little bit of salt and then a little bit of white wine vinegar. Just a few drops. You don't really want it to taste like white wine vinegar. Just season it. Then gonna ladle it up into some bowls. Have some nice crusty bread to put on top of that, and then we'll grate some a Mentler. I think you can use Comté, or I think that's how it's pronounced. But we have the Mentler. You can use either, or just a Swiss cheese if that's all you can find. Then we'll grate that on top and put it into the oven. So we'll put that in the oven for, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes until the cheese is all melted. This is like the hardest part of cooking, is when you have to wait for like the final few minutes. All right, pretty good. All right, these came out looking pretty good. Let's give one a try. They look pretty darn good. Look at that cheese. It's all about the cheese pool. So good. So rich and so flavorful. I mean, it's an effort. It's an all day thing, but I think that this is definitely worth it. So if you're looking for something to do in an afternoon on the weekend, I'd definitely check this one out. But hey, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one.